Okay, so this is Jeremiah 7, part 2. Remember, they're changing my voice. But look, you are trusting in deceptive words that are worthless. Will you steal and murder, commit adultery and perjury, or swear by false gods, burn incense to Baal, and follow other gods you have not known? Will you pretend that colonists didn't take over the world? Okay, will you pretend that they didn't coerce women into marriages? Will you pretend that in a world where everyone's evil that you should have kids? Okay, when Luke 23 makes it clear that God commands you not to in these times, and people should never have kids again, will you pretend that's not the case? Which is a form of stealing from God, a form of stealing from the righteous, a form of yoking yourself to the spirit of murder and adultery and perjury, swearing by false gods and their interpretation of the Bible. Is that what you're going to do? And then come and stand before me in this house which bears my name and say, we are safe to do all these detestable things. Has this house which bears my name become a den of robbers to you? A den of money lenders, their allies, the culture they allow, right, left, middle, the cults, the groups, the hermits that are allowed by the den of robbers while the righteous are screened out. But I have been watching, declares the Lord. One of my favorite parts in the Bible where it says, does he who formed eyes not see? God even formed eyes. He formed these eyes. He sees what you're doing. He doesn't need eyes to see what you're doing. He formed them because the principles of sight existed before the earth existed. Go now to the place in Shiloh where I first made a dwelling for my name, and see what I did to it because of the wickedness of my people Israel. While you were doing all these things, declares the Lord, I spoke to you again and again, but you did not listen. I called, but you did not answer. He called through the prophets, through their consciousness, through the patterns of nature, you name it. Therefore, what I did to Shiloh, I will do to the house that bears my name, the temple you trust in, the place I gave to you and your ancestors. I will thrust you from my presence, just as I did all your fellow Israelites, the people of Ephraim. So do not pray for this people, nor offer any plea or petition for them. Do not plead with me, for I will not listen to you. Do you not see what they are doing in the towns of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, the fathers light the fire, the women knead the dough and make cakes to offer to the Queen of Heaven. They pour out drink offerings to other gods to arouse my anger. Do you not see what's going on in America and on the planet? Okay? The children are gang stalking people, and they're pretending that people who argue that organized harassment exists are crazy. They're in corporations, they're in the extensions of corporate groups. They gather the cultural ideas and the spirits of their groups. They light the light of Lucifer. The women emulate Asherah, Hera, Aphrodite. They pour out drink offerings to other gods. They go to their churches, which are just Western cult centers, social control centers, and pretend they're praying to God. But am I the one they are provoking, declares the Lord? Are they not rather harming themselves to their own shame? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My anger and my wrath will be poured out on this place, on man and beast, on the trees of the field and on the crops of your land, and it will burn and not be quenched. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Go ahead, add your burnt offerings to your other sacrifices, and eat the meat yourselves. For when I brought your ancestors out of Egypt and spoke to them, I did not just give them commands about burnt offerings and sacrifices, but I gave them this command: obey me, and I will be your God, and you will be my people. Walk in obedience to all I command, that it may go well with you. But they did not listen or pay attention. Instead, they followed the stubborn inclinations of their evil hearts. They went backward and not forward. From the time your ancestors left Egypt until now, day after day, again and again, I sent you my servants the prophets, but they did not listen to me or pay attention. They were stiff-necked and did more evil than their ancestors, right? Their continuity of evil. Generational ill-gotten gains. When you tell them all this, they will not listen to you. When you call to them, they will not answer. Therefore say to them, this is what that nation that has not obeyed the Lord its God or responded to correction, truth, has perished, has vanished from their lips. Cut off your hair and throw it away. Take up a lament on the barren heights, for the Lord has rejected and abandoned the generation that is under his wrath, the valley of slaughter. The people of Judah have done evil in my eyes, declares the Lord. They have set up their detestable idols in the house that bears my name and have defiled it. They have built the high places of Topheth in the valley of Ben-Hinnom to burn their sons and daughters in the fire, something I did not command, nor did it enter my mind.